This is my morning routine now. I take this guy out for a few hot laps, pulling his load. So proud of this guy, he's just such a beauty. Shut her down. Thought I'd take you around. I made some changes here and I wanted to share that. I created a crossover from the city loop to the main line right here. So if you're on the city loop and you wanted to get out, you can. And then in order to get back, I put the return loop here. You cross over here and then you're back into the country loop. But the country loop has a straight shot in the back that would take you right into the city again. So you could be back to the city with just one half loop around the country. The other modification was here I had a second connector there, and I thought, well, since I have this one, I don't need that one, so I got rid of it. And like you see, I put a crossing there, a car crossing. Got rid of that track, gave us a little more room to store engines. No, not really, I'll do something else. But then I had the notion of making this more of a station-centric method, and I needed a method of storing the train on a siding, at least one train, I thought. So I switched to switches. Does that make sense? So I have a right exit here, shunts off to this siding. In front of, we've rotated, now that's Penn Station, it's going to be renamed. Grand Central is here. Penn Station is bigger and fancier, so that's Grand Central. It's going to be Penn Station. Pardon me. But here, I have it coming back up, so it can come back up, and then you switch back, and now you're on the city loop. Do a couple city loops around to New Jersey and back or whatever, and then you can come back into the station. Then if you want to go to the main loop, you can, and as you can see, the main loop just comes straight down. Now, if you're on that inner loop, say you're in the city and you go over and you want to exit, you get on that back country loop, and that's a wide one, takes you down by the radio station. But here you can see a pair of switches that are lined up straight. This one's lined up straight, so this would take you right in, then you flip that back or whatever. Now you're on the city loop. And I've done the same kind of thing to have a siding over there, and there I'm going to have Mr. Hillis and our station. This station is much bigger than the one we had in my home, sadly. I don't know, maybe I can fix that, but I doubt it. Gives me space for a water tower, having this switch here. Road crossing, which I flew over in my 64 Corvette a few times, racing Benny Baker to my house. I shouldn't have said that. At any rate, then it also curls back in a straight, and that gives us the opportunity to put tracks in front of Carl's, which weren't really in front of him, or on the side, but that's okay. And then it comes back in, and here you can switch it to stay into the country loop, or you can exit off into the city loop and then join the main loop. So everybody would join the main loop down there through that outer loop that way. And also, this then becomes a place to park a country train. Not sure if that's going to be the diesel. I doubt it, because I really like steam engines. So I'm thinking I'm going to have the Illinois Central 2500 Mountain steam engine, bring it in freight or maybe a passenger, but certainly, right, the Illinois Central Green Diamond, I don't know. These are tight turns and those are long cars. I'll have to try it and see if it can come in or not. So on one hand, I simplified it and then I flipped it over and made it a little more complicated, but I think this is a better arrangement where you have the main loop and then inner loop on each side, city on the right, country on the left, and then each inner loop has a shunt or a siding, you might say, that can store a train. So I could put trains on, I could have one in each siding, one on each loop, and one on the main. So I could have 5 trains sitting on the track, and then park one and start another and that kind of stuff. And then of course Santa Claus is still coming, okay? And he's going to be raised about 6 inches and cover the center. And he'll have some villages and his special engine and cars that we have for Santa. That's it. And this, really, we had the space. You see, I've tightened these up just a few inches, but it just makes it a little more congested, like a city might be. And I think the station has a better view, better shot of being, like a thing, like a big deal. There it is. I didn't want to put it in the front because these buildings then would be hidden, and those are the Wall Street and financials, so we know that's important from a New York City viewpoint anyway. And the Flatiron Margaret thinks was on an angle, so we did that. Times Building. That's a club, dancing club thing, nightclub, and then theater, and then St. Patrick's. Okay, maybe not a good idea, but that's just the way it is. Apartments, grocery, Irish pub, restaurants, store, barber, bank, and Grand Central. Grand Central will not have track. It's just too, can't do it, okay? I may run a piece of track and just put a train there, but I don't know. I don't know which engine we're gonna run here. The Empire Express engine has problems. I'm gonna have to dig into that. Anyway, that's where we are. That's what changes I made here. Trying to document that, and I diddled and came up with this scheme, made it happen. And then here I've been working on my engines, building that engine, as you know. I built a few PC boards yesterday. Also printed a new smoke with some new black filament to see how it turned out. Came out good. I think I'm going to use that black now to build some more trucks. All-wheel pickup. There's my master plan. I got to update that so it reflects the as-built, as we used to say. There it is. Yesterday I washed my car. This morning I cleaned the driver's side. And that's all I could do. It was too hot. And so now I'm down here, and I think I'm going to build and assemble a sound system for this guy. I think it's about time we put Wemos on here, or tried to, see how we can fit it. And I'm going to need another volt regulator, and I'm going to put in the newer gizmo. Now this is a K5 Penzi 310 12, that level. So we're going to switch that out and put in a real Atlantic tender. But I don't know if I'm going to use tin or plastic. I'm leaning towards plastic right now. So it'll be a plastic body, plastic tender. And this smokes so well, but I hate to leave it. I don't know. Maybe I should leave it, and when it breaks, get it back and put in the smart smoke. Tough call. I don't know. I'll think it over. At any rate, I am so happy with this engine. This chassis is set. This chassis is set up. I want to go through all my chassis and make them that good now. All right, that's it. Later.